I never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow so I can understand it fully. Appreciate my standing, go out of this world and right on time. Oh, never in my life have I seen the sky light up like this.
Hey yo everybody, welcome back to part 3 of my favorite baits. And favorite baits to run through a new body of water. Part 1 was the frog, was the topwater frog. Part 2 was the Texas rig. And depending on how the Texas rig goes, usually determines on what I'm going to run through a place third. Especially if I haven't been there before. But if I know if I've been there before, then chances are I'm already going to know. But let's just say that I haven't been there before.
If you haven't watched the last 2 videos, go watch those. Catch up.
Make sure you watch these 1 and 2. It's number 3. And let's say I get to a place and there's not a lot of moss or a lot of vegetation. Say it's fairly clean, right? Or even if there's a little bit. What I will run is a...
I think I know what he's going for.
Where are we going? Where are we going at? Where do we go? Oh.
My all-time favorite bait.
Probably one of my... And as you know by now, these aren't in any particular order, but they're in the order of which I'd run through a pond, which number 3 would either be... Which number 3 was either going to be this one or one of the next 2 coming out in the next 2 videos, which... This one is the Chatterbait, which is probably, if I had to pick one of my favorite baits out of all 5 of them, if I had to pick my top bait out of all 5 of them, it would be the Chatterbait, I think. And there's several different companies out there that make the Chatterbait, or otherwise known as the bladed jig. And the first one is obviously the Z-Man Chatterbait Original, and they have like 3 different versions of these. They have the Jackhammer, the Elite.
The like Pro Series maybe? There might be another one. I
don't know. I know they have the Elite and the Jackhammer and the original Chatterbait, which Cabela just had a sale. We got these for $3.99. You can get them for like $4.99 at Walmart.
I think they're $5.99.
Or $5.99, $4 or $5 at Walmart, or they're like $5 or $6 at Walmart. But and then since they're readily available where I'm at, I usually run with this regular Z-Man Chatterbait, or if I like to, Googan Bait, they have a Clickbait. This is the Googan Clickbait here. Forget my garage isn't that tall. And this is the, I forget what version this is.
I think that's a ½ ounce.
But I forget what color this is. But it's a wicked color with that paddle tail on there. Funny story about this paddle tail is it's actually a white paddle tail that Cameron left in his box, and it turned pinkish, reddish on us.
Don't know.
And just happened to pair up with this and look really nice. So the Z-Man, and then Strike King also has their Thunder Cricket, which is really overpriced if you ask me. The Googan one's like $7, almost $8 probably.
A little bit pricey.
A little bit pricey.
And I'll tell you
the difference in these chatterbaits here in a second. And third one I like is the Aot Chatterbait. And starting with we'll start with the Z-Man. The Z-Man, you can run, depending on what you get. I got a ½ ounce and a 3/8 ounce. But I got a ½ ounce and a 3/8 ounce. And I like green pumpkin or white. I run a white or green pumpkin. But if I run a ½ ounce, I can get a little, like mid water column to top. With the 3/8 ounce, I can run higher in the water column, depending on where the fish are at. And say the difference between these and the jackhammers is the jackhammers start vibrating as soon as you pick them up. But and start retrieving them. But I don't know. I can't justify spending that much money on them.
They're a lot more expensive.
Yeah, they're like $15.
Yeah, $15 to $17 maybe.
Yeah, and I get these for $3.99, and I have umpteen amount of soft plastic trailers I can put on them already. Or the next one be the Googan Clickbait, which these are supposed to be tunable, and these run depending on how fast you retrieve them.
I think they run a little bit high.
They might run a little bit high, but you're supposed to be able to tune these and run them lower or anywhere in the water column. But they work pretty good lower when you slow roll them, and they run about mid water column to upper. And then the Aot Chatter Baits, they're designed for slow rolling, so you get on the bottom with them, and you can get down to the deeper fish and run them on the bottom and get that good. And they got a deeper thump to them. And the Googan's got a click. It's got these balls on there where it clicks. It gets these balls.
Especially if you're running it like
which being is why it's called the clickbait. And the AOT is like a deeper thump, and you just have to run one. I'll leave a link to AOT Facebook page and their website down in the description.
Base here.
And yeah, not only that, they're $6.50 for a bladed jig from them, and they sell all sorts of stuff. They got spinner baits, they got regular jigs, they got bladed jigs. But the best thing about them is $6.50. It comes paired up with the trailer already.
A perfect match color.
Yeah, perfect matching trailer, and a couple extras for $6.50. You can't get that with any of these other baits. You get just the straight bladed jig, nothing with it. And if you don't already have trailers, you have to go buy a package of trailers, which is another $4, $4 to $6, depending on what you get. So you're
maybe $10.
You're about
$11.
You're about $10 in by now, and so definitely. And plus, Kirk's here in the USA, and the dude's just a really good dude. I won a package from him one time, and he sent it out, and I never got it. And I messaged him, and I said, "Hey, did you send that out yet?" And he's like, "Yeah, you should have got it by now." I was like, "I never got it," and I thought it was just gonna be,
too bad.
Yeah, too bad. I mean, sorry, your mailman didn't show up, but he's like, "No, I'll send you another one out. If you get the other one, you just keep it too." Well, I never did get it. I got the other one. Love them. I haven't made an order yet with them again, but I do plan to in the future. And y'all should seriously think about getting over there and checking out AOT.
Solid product.
Yeah. Just the personnel over there. I mean, you deal with Kurt directly. He does it all.
Yep.
He builds them. He ties. He's got a few people that help him out, but he's HR. He's everything. He's human. He's
sales, assembly.
He does it all, and just a really good guy. I mean, like, just to have a guy just to have somebody in a bait company that treats you that well is worth it to me. So, but anyway, the Chatterbait these work all year round. That's another reason they're one of my favorite. You get slow. They say you get the AOT, you slow it down, slow roll it, and you'll still get that reaction bite from a lot of the fish. But yeah, and you can work these. You can work these many different ways. That's another reason. All these baits, the only one that you really can't work in many different ways is the frog. There's not a whole lot of different ways you can work a frog.
There's like popping frogs and walking frogs.
Yeah. Texas rig. We already explained the Texas rig, all the ways you can do those.
Go check out the other videos.
Yeah. But these ones here, you can hop them like a regular jig.
That's why a lot of people like the jackhammer.
Well, these will still do it. These will still do it. I still have good luck with these vibrating when I hop them.
Me too. It's just that's what people say who like the jackhammer. It goes a little bit quicker, so when they jig in it, they get that vibration quicker on the jig.
I mean, 6 in one, half a dozen in the other. I don't know, but I like the regular old Z-Man Chatterbait.
Classic chatterbait.
I do like the Googan Clickbait and the AOT. I have to go with the AOT or the regular Z-Man Chatterbait first. Those would be my first two. And the ways I like to fish those, and I'll fish those on this is my 610 medium heavy fast action loose Xfinity speed spool. Love this rod. But yeah, that's what I throw it on with. I run anywhere from 15 to 20. I don't like to run 20 pound. I like to run anywhere between 15 to 20, 17 preferably fluoro. I don't really use mono for anything.
I prefer 15 pound.
You know, I like 17 if I can get it. And I do actually have a thing of 12 here because they were out of 15
A little bit lighter
and
than I
17.
like.
They were out of 15, 17, and 20. This is the first time I've ever. This will be the first time I ever put 12 pound on anything. But
See how it goes?
I think it'll work. But you can hop them like a jig. You can jig them across the bottom. And what I like to do sometimes is I'll do that, and then I'll start swimming it. And usually when I do that, they'll follow it as I'm hopping it, and then I'll start swimming it. And then sometime while I'm swimming it, they'll come up and hit it. And or you can straight swim it.
Easiest way.
I even have a video. If you go back and watch, like the third video I put out, where my buddy Ricky fell in love with the chatterbait. He actually had one. If you watch really closely in that video, he had a bass hit the chatterbait on top water. As soon as it hit the water, he hit it on top. So I've had him hit it everywhere.
And you can drag it across the bottom even, especially if there's rocks or something and that blade smacking against those rocks as it drags.
Yeah.
Really bring them in.
That would be where a good AOT chatterbait would come in handy.
Yeah.
Come in really good because you get the vibration right away. I mean, they're just designed to vibrate at a really slow speed. And then another reason I like them is, and if y'all haven't never fished a chatterbait before, or you're new, please don't make this mistake. I've seen it time and time again. Is they'll get a bite on it, and like a Texas rig, you'll set the hook. Boom! They'll just set it like they're setting a hook on a Texas rig. Chances are you're going to rip it out of his mouth if you do that.
Right out of his mouth.
Now these, plus you can fish these through grass and stuff. And if they get if you feel the blade stop vibrating, you either got one of two things happen. You either had a fish hit it, or you got grass on it. So what you do is you just take and you just give it a sweep. I just give it a sweep, a quick sweep, and if it cleans off, you know it's grass. If it don't clean off, you got a fish on.
Reel into it.
And since it's a moving bait, like I said, when they hit it, you don't have to really set that hook. Just kind of sweep it to the side real quick to kind of give it a quick pop to the side to clean that blade off. And if it does, if there's grass on it, you clean it off. If there's not grass on it, it's usually a fish. It's usually what happens whenever you stop vibrating. You either got grass or a fish. Just give it a sweep to the side, a little pop, and you'll either clean that off or you'll set that hook the rest of the way. It don't really take much at all. Just don't set it like a Texas rig, because if you do, you're going to rip it right out of his mouth. Anyways, so I hope this helped y'all for chatterbait fishing. And if you did, make sure you hit that like button. Hit the little red button down here. Turn on the bell notifications.
It's free.
It's free to do so. Doesn't cost you anything. And
check out the other two parts. Come catch up. Watch the next part.
And see you in the next one.